to where this car is, the turbo itself is about $2,000. And then you've got the kit that you're gonna need, the manifold, the downpipe, everything associated with that. It's gonna run somewhere around, once we're finished with it, I'd say about $1,800 for those components. And then front mount intercooler in the crash bar is like $699. Piping, we can make the custom intake for you, the 3-inch MAF on our intake, and figure that's probably around $250-ish. Blow-off valves range between 160, 180-ish, upwards of 200. Boost controllers about 320, fuel pumps 100. Your choice of catback doesn't have to be a side exit, but budget like around $400 or $500 for your catback. And then obviously the most important component is your tuning, right? Who you're going to use to tune it, whether it's us or somebody else. Make sure that they know exactly what they're doing with a Juke, so around $650-ish to get your car tuned and flashed. So not cheap. I'm going to estimate somewhere around $6 to $7, all in the parts cost itself to get to that number. Now obviously you don't have to start with a stock Juke and just dump all your money on that. You could do very simple things with a stock Juke, like upgrade the exhaust. The downpipe is total crap from the factory. It's got like a 90-degree bend in it. Downpipe makes a big difference. The exhaust makes a big difference. Intake and an intercooler. Those are the 3 big things that you need on a Juke to make really solid power. Like those 3 with a tune, and you're already at like 280-ish, 280, 290. You add a Mamba turbo and then you're at like 320, 330, and the Mamba fits on the factory manifold, so you don't need anything custom like this one. But to get up above that 310, 320 number, like I said, that's when you got to make that commitment, you know, for the G series, the 660 Garrett. You can, in our earlier prototypes, we used the GT28 RS, the Gen 2, and that was like 350 at the wheels. The 660 just gets you about another 45, 50 horsepower more than that. You know what I mean? So if you come here with an untuned, which means unflashed Juke, we charge $650. That gets you the license and the dyno tune itself. But if you're not local to Atlanta, for $699, we send you the cable, the license, and then we tune your Juke remotely at that point. And we have a video that covers the data logging for you. You send us that information, we write the ROM for you and send it back. And then it's about 95% there. Obviously, doing data logging, you're gonna get very close, but of course not as close as the dyno, but you'd be just about there. But stage 1, always intake. Start with an intake. That makes a big difference. Intake and then a mid-pipe. If those 2 pieces together, I mean, you're gonna pick up between 20 and 25 wheel horsepower just by putting those on with no tune. Like, it really wakes the car up at that point. Stage 2 would be a catback. I would do that. Probably a blow-off valve upgrade and maybe the hard piping. I would consider that stage 2.
What kind of gains what do you think?
Once you add the catback and the blow-off valve, kind of that waviness in the curve, kind of the way the car makes power, goes away, right? The power curve is real choppy on this car. You take a stock Juke, put on the dyno, because it's so restrictive. Once you kind of open up those restrictions, the power delivery is much smoother. So maybe another, realistically, 15 horsepower by adding those on, but the way the car pulls is tremendously better.
What stage is this Juke at now?
25. No, but at stage 3, when you get into a stage 3, then you're talking about like a downpipe and an intercooler. Like, then you're ready to make some good power, and you know, you're ready for a tune at that point. If you're doing a downpipe, you're getting an intercooler on your car, you're making power, and that's when you want to consider doing a tune. Anything over 320, 310-ish, 320, you're gonna run it hard, the stock clutch isn't gonna last. Aside from like the stage 1, right, which applies to all the variants, the big thing is you have to protect your CVT, right? Protecting your CVT in 2 ways, really. One is get a good cooler for your CVT, right? The ones that we make them in-house. We don't really ship them out, but if your Juke's here, we'll make one for you. We put it where the factory intercooler used to be when we run our front mounts. So it's a big set rab heat exchanger that we use for the CVTs. And that keeps the temperatures down, it keeps the fluids nice and cool, that prolongs the life of the CVT. Second thing you could do is just don't kill it when you're tuning it. Make the turbo ramp up nice and slow. Don't make the torque hit very hard. Be easy on it. Like I said, you can make good power, just don't spin up the turbo real quickly and then put all that torque onto the CVT itself. That's what I would do. And then change your fluid regularly. Always run Nissan fluid. It's important. So thanks guys, I appreciate you watching, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing your comments below.